Welcome to Omni Eyes. Today we explore the incredible psychological warfare hidden within the fragile wings of the magnificent owl butterfly. In the dense, ancient rainforests, survival is a brutal game of deception, where appearing dangerous is often better than being dangerous. Predators lurk in the shadows, waiting for a moment of weakness to strike down the innocent creatures of the deep jungle. But nature has evolved brilliant defense mechanisms, utilizing visual tricks to confuse, terrify, and ultimately deter even the most aggressive hunters. Meet the owl butterfly, a fragile insect that commands immense respect through a breathtaking illusion painted beautifully across its delicate wings. Those massive, piercing circles on its wings are not real eyes, but they project a terrifying aura of a vigilant predator. This is the ultimate biological decoy, a masterpiece of evolutionary design, meant to strike pure fear into the hearts of attackers. To a hungry bird, those giant spots look exactly like the unblinking eyes of a dangerous owl staring directly at them. The bird immediately aborts its attack, completely fooled by a harmless butterfly wearing the terrifying mask of a top nocturnal predator. This phenomenal survival strategy is heavily based on psychological warfare, manipulating the enemy's perception to create an illusion of absolute danger. The butterfly does not need to fight its enemies. It simply needs to make them believe they are being watched closely. This concept of visual deterrence is not just limited to the animal kingdom. It forms the foundation of modern human security. Think about the security cameras installed in retail stores, parking lots, and corporate buildings scattered across our massive, interconnected modern cities. Have you ever wondered how many of those blinking cameras are actually recording? And how many are simply empty plastic shells? In reality, a significant percentage of visible security cameras are completely fake, designed solely to create the illusion of constant surveillance. Just like the spots on the owl butterfly, these dummy cameras serve as artificial eyes, projecting an intimidating aura of authority. The psychological impact of a fake camera is often indistinguishable from a real one, effectively stopping potential criminals in their tracks. People behave very differently when they believe they are being watched, instinctively suppressing malicious actions due to the fear of consequences. This phenomenon is known as the panopticon effect, a powerful psychological mechanism where the mere threat of observation ensures strict compliance. You do not need to constantly monitor a space to keep it secure. You just need to establish the perception of monitoring. The owl butterfly mastered this concept millions of years before humans even existed, utilizing visual deception to survive in hostile environments. When a predator approaches, the butterfly suddenly opens its wings, flashing those giant, terrifying eyes to paralyze the attacker with fear. It is a brilliant shock tactic, overwhelming the predator's visual processing center and triggering an immediate instinctual flight response for survival. The enemy is not afraid of the fragile insect. They are terrified of the powerful phantom predator that those wings represent. In the realm of physical security, a prominently displayed dummy camera achieves the exact same psychological shock against a potential intruder. The intruder sees the flashing red light, assumes they are being recorded, and quickly decides that the risk is simply too high. They retreat into the shadows, defeated not by an actual security team, but by a clever illusion designed to manipulate their perception. This strategy is highly cost-effective, providing maximum security deterrence with minimal investment, just like the energy-efficient defense of the brilliant butterfly. However, the art of deception extends far beyond physical cameras and rainforest canopies. It is deeply embedded in modern digital landscapes. In the complex world of cybersecurity, digital networks constantly face relentless attacks from invisible hackers seeking to steal valuable, sensitive information. To defend against these invisible threats, cybersecurity experts deploy sophisticated decoy systems, creating digital illusions to trap and confuse malicious hackers. These virtual traps are known as honeypots, fake servers designed to look extremely attractive and vulnerable to any potential cyber attacker. Just like the owl butterfly's fake eyes, a honeypot projects a misleading image, tricking the enemy into making a fatal mistake. When a hacker infiltrates the honeypot, they believe they have breached the main system, but they are actually inside a controlled environment. Security teams can then safely monitor the hacker's every move, analyzing their tactics without risking any real data or critical infrastructure. The hacker is completely deceived, wasting valuable time and resources attacking a phantom target, while the real system remains perfectly secure. This digital mimicry is a direct parallel to the butterfly's evolutionary defense, proving that deception is a universal strategy for survival. Whether in the jungle or on the internet, the core principle remains exactly the same. Control the enemy's perception to win. By projecting strength where there is vulnerability, you can effectively neutralize threats without ever engaging in a direct, dangerous physical confrontation. The owl butterfly's wings are a canvas of survival, painted with the evolutionary wisdom of countless generations facing brutal, terrifying predators. Every detail of those eye spots, from the light reflection to the iris pattern, is meticulously crafted to maximize the psychological impact. It is a stunning reminder that nature is the ultimate engineer, constantly innovating and perfecting the art of psychological warfare over millennia. Human engineers study these biological marvels, drawing profound inspiration from nature to design better, smarter, and more efficient security systems today. Biomimicry is the science of emulating natural designs, translating the genius of the owl butterfly into practical applications for human protection. We learn that security is not always about building thicker walls or stronger locks. Sometimes it is about creating smarter, better illusions. A clever illusion can bypass the enemy's physical strength entirely, attacking their mind and exploiting their deepest, most primal psychological fears. The fear of being watched is deeply ingrained in the psychology of almost every living creature, from tiny birds to human beings. We are naturally wired to alter our behavior when we feel the gaze of another, an instinct driven by deep survival pressures. This is why the simple image of an eye can significantly reduce dishonest behavior in public spaces, offices, and digital platforms. Researchers have proven that placing posters of staring eyes in a room dramatically decreases theft and encourages people to follow the rules. The subconscious mind processes those printed eyes as a real threat of observation, triggering an automatic, involuntary shift towards honest behavior. The owl butterfly exploits this exact subconscious trigger, weaponizing the predator's own visual processing system to ensure its own miraculous survival. It is a beautiful irony that a creature without traditional defensive weapons can dominate its environment through the sheer power of suggestion. In our modern society, we are constantly surrounded by artificial eyes, from traffic cameras to smartphone lenses, shaping our daily behavior. We live in a massive, interconnected panopticon, where the boundary between real surveillance and simulated observation has become increasingly, fundamentally blurred. This blurring of reality is exactly what makes decoy tactics so incredibly effective in both physical security and complex cybersecurity networks. If an attacker cannot distinguish between a real camera and a fake one, they must assume that every single camera is real. This assumption creates a powerful chilling effect, deterring malicious activity through the overwhelming, persistent fear of being caught and severely punished. However, the effectiveness of a decoy relies entirely on its realism. A poorly designed fake will be quickly identified and completely ignored. The owl butterfly's eye spots are highly realistic, featuring intricate details that perfectly mimic the light reflecting off a real owl's eye. Similarly, a successful dummy camera must look authentic, complete with realistic wiring, blinking lights, and appropriate placement within the monitored environment. In cybersecurity, a honeypot must simulate a genuine operating system, complete with fake files, active services, and realistic network traffic patterns. The art of deception requires meticulous attention to detail, as the slightest flaw can break the illusion and expose the hidden vulnerability. When executed perfectly, visual deception becomes an impenetrable shield, protecting the vulnerable core by projecting an aura of absolute, undeniable strength. The owl butterfly teaches us that perception is reality. What the enemy believes to be true is far more important than truth. If you can control what the enemy sees, you can dictate their actions, forcing them to retreat without ever firing a shot. This principle is utilized by military strategists, who deploy inflatable tanks and fake airfields to confuse enemy reconnaissance and misdirect hostile forces. During major historical conflicts, these phantom armies successfully diverted massive enemy resources, proving the immense strategic value of large-scale visual deception. The humble butterfly and the brilliant military general share the exact same tactical mindset, utilizing illusions to outsmart and defeat powerful adversaries. As technology continues to advance, the methods of deception will become even more sophisticated, blurring lines between physical and digital worlds. We are entering an era of deepfakes and virtual reality, where our own eyes can no longer verify the absolute truth. In this complex future, understanding the mechanics of psychological warfare and visual manipulation will be more critical than ever before in history. We must learn to navigate a world filled with digital honeypots, simulated realities, and highly advanced artificial intelligence designed to deceive us. The lessons from the rainforest remain profoundly relevant, reminding us that survival often depends on our ability to see through the illusion. We must become critical observers, analyzing the environment carefully to distinguish between genuine threats and cleverly designed, harmless biological or digital decoys. Conversely, we can also harness the power of deception to protect our own valuable assets, utilizing psychological deterrence to secure personal spaces. A simple security sign in your front yard can deter a burglar, even if you do not own a complex alarm system. The sign acts as a psychological barrier, planting a seed of doubt in the intruder's mind to encourage seeking much easier targets. It is the exact same mechanism that saves the owl butterfly from the hungry beak of a predatory bird in the jungle. Deception is a fundamental tool in the grand game of survival, utilized by insects, corporations, militaries, and everyday individuals across the globe. It is a fascinating testament to life's complexity, where the mind is just as important as physical strength in overcoming great adversity. The magnificent owl butterfly, with its fragile wings and terrifying fake eyes, stands as the ultimate symbol of this brilliant survival strategy. It silently reminds us that true power does not always roar. Sometimes, it simply stares back at you from the quiet shadows. Next time you see a security camera, take a moment to wonder if it is truly watching you, or just playing tricks. You might just be experiencing the modern technological equivalent of a bird encountering an owl butterfly in the deep Amazon rainforest today. The illusion of security is a powerful force, shaping our society and dictating the intricate rules of engagement in our modern world. We willingly participate in this grand theater of surveillance, accepting the presence of artificial eyes as a necessary condition for public order. But we must never forget the ancient wisdom encoded in the wings of the butterfly, the knowledge that appearances can be deceiving. Behind every camera lens, whether real or fake, lies a complex web of human intentions, fears, and the struggle for absolute control. By understanding the psychology of surveillance, we empower ourselves to navigate this monitored world with greater awareness, critical thinking, and personal insight. We learn to recognize invisible forces that influence our behavior, reclaiming our autonomy in an age of constant, pervasive, and overwhelming observation. Studying nature reveals profound truths about human society, bridging the gap between biological evolution and the rapid advancement of complex modern technology. The owl butterfly is not just an insect, it is a brilliant masterclass in strategy, teaching us the art of psychological warfare. Its silent lessons echo through the corridors of cybersecurity firms, military headquarters, and the bustling streets of our massive, heavily monitored cities. We owe a debt of gratitude to these incredible creatures, whose survival struggles have inadvertently provided us with a blueprint for security. As we build our digital fortresses and secure our physical borders, we will always rely heavily on the principles of visual deception. The dance between predator and prey, hacker and defender, observer and observed, will continually evolve, driven by the timeless power of illusion. In this endless game of cat and mouse, the ability to manipulate perception will always be the deciding factor for ultimate victory. So, embrace the wisdom of the owl butterfly, and remember that sometimes the most effective weapon is simply a well-crafted, beautiful lie. The world is full of hidden traps and clever decoys, waiting to test your perception and challenge your understanding of absolute reality. Keep your eyes open, question what you see, and never underestimate the immense psychological power of a simple, brilliantly executed visual illusion. We have journeyed through the rainforests and the digital networks, exploring fascinating intersections of biology, psychology, and advanced modern human security systems. The story of the owl butterfly is a powerful reminder that nature's ancient secrets hold the key to solving modern security challenges. Thank you for joining us on this incredible exploration of psychological warfare, visual deception, and the hidden mechanics of modern global surveillance. This has been another revealing episode of Omni Eyes, where we uncover the hidden truths of our world. Stay curious, stay secure.